This is on page 8 of the, it is on page 8 of the minutes. Page 8 of the minutes. Attorney Patrick Jogstetter said he would like to recommend going forward, the board direct all requests for funding from nonprofits be presented to and voted on by the ARPA committee voting members in public meetings and then presented to the board as the recommendation for approval or denial of the ARPA committee. Commissioner Sanders.
In public meetings, you said.
But I'm not no, I'm a district commissioner who was allocated $1 million to spend in his district. I'm not a nonprofit. The same as Stan is a commissioner, the same as you are the chairman, and you recommended those two entities to be given money. And I agree with Viewpoint. I agree with the Helping Hand. So what's the problem?
As long as we go by, listen, as long as we go by what the motion stated, I don't have a problem with it at all. So you gonna read the motion? You wanna finish reading the motion?
Yeah, you want me to start over?
Please.
Attorney Patrick Jogstetter said he would like to recommend going forward, the board direct all requests for funding from nonprofits be presented to and voted on by the ARPA committee voting members in public meetings and then presented to the board as the recommendation for approval or denial of the ARPA committee. Commissioner Sanders made a motion to amend the agenda to add and approve as stated by the county attorney. Going forward, the board direct all funding requests from nonprofits be presented to and voted by ARPA committee voting members in public meetings and then presented to the board as the recommendation for approval or denial of the ARPA funds. The motion was seconded by Commissioner Henderson. Board discussion. Commissioner Edwards suggested that a basic application process be included for the ARPA committee to review. Chairman Baines said that it could be added to the motion and suggested that a system be created quickly because more organizations will soon begin making requests. Interim County Manager Jarvis Sims stated, "We want to be mindful that we might have more requests than the availability of funding, and having some processes in place will ensure that we are able to satisfy the needs of the community and we are adhering to the rigid regulations of the federal government." Chairman Baines said that he would like for the ARPA information be added to the website and suggested that the ARPA committee meet as soon as possible. Commissioner Sanders stated she would like to amend her motion to add there be an application process for those to submit their funding requests to the ARPA subcommittee in regards to receiving federal dollars. The motion was seconded by Commissioner Henderson and was passed unanimously, period.
Commissioner Henderson, you first, go ahead.
Where does it say that a district commissioner cannot request? And did it mention district commissioners or commissioners?
It said ARPA funds.
Tell me, on those funds, or however you want to word it. You tell me, Mr. Patrick.
Ask your question again. There are about three people talking.
Okay, where does it state in that motion that a district commissioner, you said that it was, how do you phrase it? So you said that it was nonprofits. I am not a nonprofit. Stan was not a nonprofit. So how can I be a nonprofit in the HERO rule when we took money out of our prospective $1 million and spent it within the community? You have to outline the process of being a nonprofit. I'm not a nonprofit commissioner who was allocated $1 million. It doesn't state name, it doesn't mention a commissioner name nowhere. Nowhere in that. I had made a motion, there has been a second, and just call it for it, Mr. Chair. All right, cool.
Call for. Oh, yeah, we didn't even open it up for discussion. Commissioner Cowell.
Okay. Have we inadvertently created two classes of handling these ARPA funds? One as a commission disbursement, the other one as an application for a separate nonprofit project? I mean, have we done that? Is that what we
I don't know if you did that or not. I'll tell you, this is all the result of trying to do things on the fly. So, if you remember,
right,
none
that's
of
what I'm saying.
none of this was on the agenda,
We
right? And
inadvertently did this.
perhaps, I think one could interpret that as such. So I think the decision for the board to make is, do we want to continue doing stuff on the fly? Or do we want to tighten up the procedure? I am aware of the distributions proposed by Mr. Henderson. I believe them all to be compatible with the ARPA guidelines. There's one that I have some questions with, but we can resolve that. I can probably resolve that with Mr. Sims. If y'all want to vote on them, amend the agenda, vote on them. If you want to go through a procedure where it goes to the ARPA committee, do that. But my fear is, at the next meeting, are there going to be requests to distribute money that we're not ready to discuss? So, and I just don't know if there will be or there won't be. So,
A follow-up question, just
Go
real
ahead.
quick. The helping hands or the willing hands and the
Viewpoint Health.
Viewpoint Health. I asked Patrick, I said, is there some provision under the ARPA for an emergency type thing? And you said you thought there probably was.
We were able to confirm that those are appropriate recipients of ARPA funds.
Okay, and there was a critical need at that point at the last board meeting, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what they told us.
They were running
Yes.
out of funding. So that was why we did that particular amendment in that particular manner. So I just want to clear that up.
Commissioner Henderson and then Commissioner
ARPA,
Sanders.
to answer, let me answer your specific question. ARPA doesn't care about timing. I think the emergency was this board. ARPA says, here's the money, distribute it. That's what ARPA says. What procedure you follow is entirely up to you. Now, the front page of the ARPA Treasury Guidelines say you should establish a procedure for dealing with your funds. It suggests to us to follow a procedure, and that's, I think, what we're making a decision about.
Commissioner Henderson.
Is there any way, and I'm talking to Commissioner DeMond, that we could add on per your request too as well, and this, so we're gonna have to come back the next couple of weeks and address that and distribute those funds that you want to distribute in your district. And I think they should be distributed the way you need to be distributed in your district along with in District 4, or whomever else may want to add to it. We have got to stop trying to change stuff when we already done started. In other words, we already start distributing money by the district commissioner and by the chair who brought it up, and we distributed, and then come and say, "Whoa, I can distribute, but you can't. You got to go and have, sorry, this meeting is, hey, we're all working for the citizens of Newton County."
Sir, the chairman don't have a vote. So the chairman didn't vote on
But
giving
you brought-
anybody
but you-
anything.
You brought y'all attention,
They people want to be on the agenda.
and absolutely.
They want to give a report. Now, you didn't have to give any money to them if you didn't want to. You
Absolutely.
raised your hand and gave money
I
to
sure
them.
did. And I'm gonna that's why I'm raising my hand to
Don't
give
go-
this money that I have in District 4 to the citizens in my district. That's all. I wanna give my folks some money too.
Commissioner Sanders, you next.
Thank you, Patrick, for reading that resolution. It did not state in regards to allocation of individual commissioners. And this was one of the issues I tried to stop on last week. I said it many times. Y'all heard me. I said we should not be doing this right now. But in regards to the commissioner, Commissioner Henderson has proposed this since April. Every commissioner received a copy, and every commissioner received it on their desk. They did. And so we looked over it, and some of the, our interim county manager verified some of those verifications on there. We could do the exact same thing in regards to the commissioner's allocation. We're not talking about the categories where the nonprofits and the businesses have to come before us and submit the application. This is completely different. And I even submitted some stuff and tried to put it on the agenda for about 2 or 3 months, and it will not get on the agenda.
Commissioner Mason.
Okay, so help me understand Because, and the reason why I'm trying to find a level of clarity is because even if I have submitted a list from the funds from District 2, does that mean the list that I submitted is not supposed to be discussed and decided by the ARPA committee first and then come to this board? Or if I submit a list, you all just say, okay, well, it doesn't go through a process because it comes from Commissioner Mason's District 2 ARPA funding, so we just go ahead and distribute those funds? Or do they have to be on as an agenda item once it has been agreed on by the ARPA committee? Because I think where I'm finding conflict is, has the whole ARPA committee agreed that these items should be on the agenda, whether it's District 2, 3, 4, 1, or 5? Should whatever's been submitted, have they been agreed on by the entire subcommittee to come to this board to be on the agenda? Because to me, it sounds like some people on the subcommittee agreed and other people on the subcommittee didn't. So it sounds like the subcommittee is not even in agreement. So y'all got to get an agreement before it comes to us. So that's what it sounds like.
Wait a
Sound
minute,
like.
wait a minute. No, we're not finna talk out of order. Commissioner Edwards was first. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, I'm on that subcommittee. I do not remember discussing this particular subject. That's not to say it didn't happen. I'm at my office when we have these calls. So, I'm not saying I did not receive this email. I just do not recall. My biggest concern, and each commissioner can certainly nominate what they want to spend their money on, as long as it's an entity that meets the guidelines. My question for any project or any allocation of funds that comes before me is going to be, did this organization suffer because of COVID? That's what the ARPA funds are intended to be used for.
Guys, I'm gonna have to come back to you. We're gonna have to go into zoning. We're gonna have to go in.
We need to approve an agenda first.
Yeah. There's a motion on the floor. Guys, I'm gonna have to call for the motion because we advertised for zoning at 7:30. We got to go into zoning. So we're gonna call for a motion, whether you want to amend. Oh, well, it's already been motioned by Commissioner, and second by Commissioner Sanders, right? Now, we already in discussion, we got to call for the motion. We all in favor?
All due respect, Mr. Chairman, I would like to answer Commissioner Mason's comment because
You can answer his comment when we come back. We coming back to it.
So we don't need to vote right now. We need to vote when we come back from this, because he stated something in regards to the ARPA committee getting together. We didn't
Can you
get
please
yours
explain?
until 2 days ago.
Can you please, guys, hold on.
We need an agenda to proceed.
watch
The
your
board
comments.
needs to vote on approving or rejecting the agenda.
I'm calling for the vote. All in favor of amending the agenda? All in favor? All opposed? Thank you.
Okay, call for it now.
Now calling for,
Motion to approve the agenda as prepared and presented.
yeah, motion to approve the agenda as prepared and presented. Can I get a motion, please?
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards, and it's been seconded by Commissioner Mason. All in favor? All opposed? Pass 3-2. Ms. Applewhite, thank you, sir. Guys. Praise. Thank you for being here tonight. Guys, we are in zoning tonight, if you will. If you will, please help us, Ms. Applewhite. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening again, Commissioners. We have 3 zoning cases this evening and one streetlight petition. So our first case is a rezoning. It's REZ 22-000007, located off of Henderson Mill Road on 12.39 acres. Tax ID is 88-015C. The current zoning is A, agricultural, and Flume is rural residential, and the proposed zoning is to go to agricultural residential. The watershed is the Alcovy River. It's located in Commissioner District 1. And our petitioner tonight is Raymond Harrington. So the applicant's intent is to rezone the parcel from A, agricultural, to AR, agricultural residential, for the purpose of subdividing the parcel into 5 lots for a family exempt plat. And they're proposing to go to that zone, to that AR zoning, like we said, to construct single-family residences. In the agricultural zoning district, it is required to have a minimum of 10-acre parcels, and although there's only 12.39 acres, there are limits to the way in which the tract may be subdivided under that zoning. So in order to subdivide the property, the applicant is requesting to change the zoning to agricultural residential to accommodate their proposal. And conclusion, given the fact that the property is zoned A and in close proximity of similar existing zonings, such as agricultural residential, along with the applicant's proposed uses of land, staff is of the opinion that the rezoning may be appropriate for the site. And our recommended conditions. Should this petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved agricultural residential, conditional, subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1, to the owner's agreement to abide by the following. A, an exempt plat of the newly created parcels must be submitted and approved by the Department of Development Services. And B, any required permits must be obtained from the Department of Development Services before any construction or development on the property. And this is an aerial view of where the parcel is located, off of Henderson Mill Road. Current zoning is agricultural. Future land use map. It's rural residential. Watershed Alcovy, as stated earlier. And this is what they're proposing, to break it down into 5 lots. And we're gonna have a flag lot in there, and then 3 of the lots are gonna be off of an easement. Well, 4 of the lots. And that's a survey of the parcel. If there are any questions?
Thank you. We're gonna, it is approximately 7:38. We're gonna open it up for the public hearing.
Yes.
Okay. It is approximately 7:39 now. We're gonna go ahead and open it up for our public hearing. The applicant and those in favor.
Applicant is here.
You may come at this time. You have 10 minutes today to speak. 10 minutes today to speak. The applicant and those in favor, if you will, please come at this time. Hold on one second. Guys, can y'all change that to 10 minutes, please? Thank you so much for being here today, sir. You may begin.
Good evening. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Don Clark. The property that was spoken of is my father's property, and my wife and I are planning to subdivide so that we can move near my father, so that in the older age they won't have to go anywhere else. My son and my brother's son have plans to move on the property at a later date, so that is why we've petitioned you for the change in zoning.
Thank you, sir. Would anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? Thank you. That closed that portion. We also allow 10 minutes for those that want to oppose tonight. If you would, please come up and state your name, your address for the record, please. Anyone want to oppose tonight? Anyone want to oppose tonight? Ms. Applewhite. Anyone would like to oppose tonight? That portion of our public hearing is closed. I think this is in District 1. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I'd like to make a comment. Mr. Clark's family has been very patient with us. They've been very meticulous and kept me informed of everything going on throughout this process, and I appreciate that, and I hope they're able to accomplish what they want to accomplish down there. With that, I would like to move that we approve rezoning case number REZ 22-000007.
Second.
It's been a motion by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion? All in favor? It passed 5-0. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairman. Our second case this evening is also a rezoning. It's REZ 22-000008, located off of 11915 Highway 278, and it is on 15.82 acres. Tax ID is 112-027. The existing zoning is agricultural. Existing land use map is rural residential, and the proposed zoning is also agricultural residential. Located in the Alcovy watershed, District 1, and the petitioner is Leslie Coleman. An applicant is requesting to rezone from agricultural to agricultural residential for the purposes of subdividing out a parcel for a family member. And land use and density, the applicant is proposing that the lot be rezoned from A to AR to allow for the subdivision of the property into 2 parcels for a family member to be able to construct a single family residence. And in the A zoning, it is required to have a minimum of 10 acres, and they have 15.82, which creates some limitations. In order to subdivide the property, the applicant is requesting to change that zoning to agricultural residential to accommodate their proposal, and that will take it down to a smaller lot size. Conclusion, given the fact that the property is zoned A and in close proximity of similar existing zonings such as agricultural residential, along with other uses the applicant is proposing, staff is of the opinion that the rezoning may be appropriate for the site. And recommended conditions. Should this petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved agricultural residential, conditional subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1, to the owner's agreement to abide by the following. A minor plat of the newly created parcels must be submitted and approved by the Department of Development Services, and B, any required permits must be obtained from the Department of Development Services before construction or development on the property. And this is where it's located on Highway 278. And you have the current zoning map is zoned A. Future land use map, rural residential, located in the Alcovy River watershed. And this is a survey of the map. They're looking at tract 2. And this is their concept plan of how they're planning to subdivide it, to build a second home. Are there any questions?
We're gonna go ahead and open it up, and we'll do the questions at the end. It's approximately 7:44. We're gonna open it up for our public hearing. The applicant and those that want to speak in favor, you have 10 minutes to do so. If you would, please come and state your name for the address and your address for the record, please.
Good evening. I'm Leslie
evening.
Coleman, and this is my father's property on 11915. I currently live at 3797 Malachi in Loganville, and we are petitioning to subdivide so that I can live closer to my parents as they age.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak in favor tonight? Would anyone else like to speak in favor tonight? Would anyone else like to speak in favor tonight? That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allowed 10 minutes for those that like to oppose tonight. If you would like to oppose, you can come now. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Would anyone like to oppose tonight? Would anyone like to oppose tonight? Would anyone like to oppose tonight? That portion of our public hearing is closed, Ms. Applewhite. I think this is in District 1 as well. I think there were some questions. Can we get a motion on the floor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This time I'd like to make a motion to approve rezoning case number REZ 22-000008 with staff recommended conditions.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Cowan. Any questions? Any discussion, rather? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Applewhite, so to subdivide this any further, less than 2 lots would take another, they would have to come before this board again, correct?
Well, with it being currently rezoned to agricultural residential, now they will have, and they're in the Alcovy watershed, that would bring them to a 2-acre minimum. So not necessarily, no, sir. It can be a minor plat, if
Would it come back before the zoning board?
no.
But nothing less than 2 acres, right?
That would be the minimum currently, unless that changes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any more discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Ms. Applewhite.
Thank you, Chairman. Our next zoning case is actually a conditional use permit. Case number is CUP 22-000003. The proposed use is a commercial daycare center. The parcel size is 2 acres. It's located at, well, it's 3 suites, 2606, 2608, and 2610 Highway 212. Tax ID is 51-6J. The future land use is mixed use, and the existing zoning is general commercial. The watershed is the South River. It is in Commissioner District 1. And the owner is A&M Partnership LLC, and our petitioner today is Cinnamon Sarton. And the applicant's intent is to establish a commercial child daycare center in a general commercial zoning district. And for the site plan analysis, based on the site plan submitted by the applicant to the department on March 14th, 2022, staff offers the following considerations. So the site plan and the letter of intent indicates the property will be used for commercial daycare center within 3 suites of the existing building. And the applicant has provided the department with a survey. The property has a paved entrance and a parking lot in the front of the building. And the existing building meets or exceeds all minimum setbacks per section 270-050B and the property development standards of the 2020 Unified Development Ordinance of Newton County. So the relevant section in the Unified Development Code will be section 510-210, daycare for a child. A, the daycare center or the daycare facility shall comply with all applicable state daycare requirements for standards, licensing, and inspection. B, the outdoor play area required by the state shall be fully enclosed with a 4-foot high fence. And C, the daycare center or the daycare facility shall comply with all fire marshal requirements, including but not limited to requirements for inspections and sprinkler systems. In conclusion, staff recommends approval of the conditional use request to establish a commercial daycare center with the following recommended conditions. So the recommended conditions: should the petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved for a conditional use permit to operate a commercial daycare center subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1, to the owner's agreement to abide by the following development standards. A, limit the number of total occupants per suite to the occupant load set by the Newton County Fire Services. B, provide a copy of the Bright from the Start state license for the subject location to development services before any business license can be issued, and maintain the right from the start state license while in operation. C, provide a sprinkler inspection to the Newton County Fire Marshal. The inspection must be approved prior to the release of a business license. D, prior to the release of the business license, provide a copy. I think I just read that one. E, maintain compliance with section 510-210 of the Newton County zoning ordinance. F, prior to any construction, addition, or removal of walls within the suite or suites, the applicant must apply for all required building permits. And G, must have an approved play area surrounded with a 4-foot tall fence before the issuance of a business license. H, obtain environmental health approval before the issuance of a business license. Okay, and this is an aerial showing the location, and the star, that's the end of the building where the 3 suites are located. And we have our zoning map. It's zoned general commercial. Future land use is mixed use. It's in the South River watershed. And this is a survey of the property. This is the layout the applicant has provided of where the classrooms will be. And she's got the 3 suites and then the classrooms going down. And she also shows the waiting area and bathrooms at the back. And this is the location. So it's the 3 suites at the end, the building to my left. And it's 2606, 2608, and 2610. And the area highlighted is where it will be fenced in with a 4-foot fence for the children. Oh, and are there any questions?
We're gonna go ahead and open it up.
Okay.
It's approximately 7:52. We're gonna open it up for the applicant and those that wanna speak in favor tonight. You have 10 minutes to do so. If you would, please come and state your name and your address for the record, please. Good evening.
My name is Thomas Mundelli. I am an attorney, practice in Decatur, Georgia. I am here on behalf of Cinnamon Sarton and her husband, who are in the back of the auditorium. And we are here just to advocate in favor of the board's granting of this conditional use. Ms. Sarton is, as I mentioned in the earlier hearing, a victim of her own success. She has run a residential daycare for a number of years, since 2006, when she left a job as a lead teacher to open a daycare facility, and has had demand for her business skyrocket over the years. She has sought this commercial use so that she can provide more critical daycare services, childcare services for the community, for people who desperately need childcare to keep working even after all the troubled years of the pandemic. Her daycare operation should ultimately run from approximately 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. At present, right from the start, is going to issue its recommendation as how many pupils she can have, and of course she'll comply with the fire marshal as well in terms of occupancy rates, but she's anticipating probably a capacity of at least 42 students, if not more, from the state's recommendations, and we'll see how the fire marshal weighs in on that as well. All permitting processes and compliances are already in progress with the county, and we are just here to ask for your approval. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can you give us your name one more time, please?
Certainly. Thomas Mundelli, M-O-N-D-E-L-L-I.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak in favor tonight? Would anyone else like to speak in favor tonight? Would anyone else like to speak in favor tonight? That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow 10 minutes for those that would like to oppose. You may come at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Would anyone like to oppose tonight? Would anyone like to oppose tonight? Ms. Applewhite. Ms. Applewhite. That portion of our public hearing is closed. I think this also is in District 1. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion this time to approve conditional use permit CUP 22-000003 with staff recommendations.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Cowan. Discussion, Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to make the comment this time that I have spoken, I assume it's the Sartons. I had spoken previously with those good folks, and I'm satisfied they're prepared to have a business that meets growing demands in that area for sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Any more discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0. Thank you so much.
Is that the resolution?
I'm sorry?
I have a streetlight resolution.
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Okay. This is the last item, Chairman. Staff would like to request the approval for the Newton County Board of Commissioners to adopt resolution R051722 to create a street lighting district for the Woodlawn Springs subdivision. The subdivision is located on Woodlawn Springs Trail and Woodlawn Road, and there are a total of 8 lots in the subdivision.
Thank you. That is in what district? That's one? I think so. Commissioner Edwards, seek a motion, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's in my neighborhood, as a matter of fact. So, motion to approve as stated by interim director of planning and zoning.
Thank you.
Can I get a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? Yeah. Can I do, it passed 5-1 extension. Yeah, thank you. I mean, 4-1 extension, I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you,
Chairman.
ma'am. Next is citizens.
You give an extension, that means that you're supposed to give a reason
sorry.
why you abstain.
You can state your reason, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Because I didn't have enough information on it, I guess, in order to make a good vote.
He said he didn't have enough information. That's right, okay. Thank you. Next is citizen comments. This opportunity, we let citizens make comments about agenda topics only. Agenda topics only. You may comment this time. You have 3 minutes to do so. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Agenda topics only. Huh? Yeah. Agenda topics only. Citizen comments. Thank you. I don't have anything in the chairman's report. County manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just something briefly. We just wanted to recognize Fairview Park with its grand opening that occurred on May 10th. We'd like to thank all the citizens that came out for that event. We were excited to see the updated playground, stationary fitness equipment, as well as the walking trail. We also have a fishing derby at Turner Lake this Saturday from 8 to 12. This is a free event in collaboration with DNR. We'll have plenty of fishing poles and bait, and it goes up to age 15 years of age. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. I'm finished. Next, seek a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, we do. I need to find a consent agenda. We do have, is Miss Kim Payne here, District 1? Kim Payne? She's not. Miss Ashley Chow, is that how you pronounce it? Cahill. We just want to wave your hand, and we want to thank you for your willingness to serve. We greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for being willing to serve. Miss Yvonne English, is she's here? She's not here? Okay, we want to thank her as well. We always want to thank the citizens who avail themselves to be able to serve their community. So thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for being willing to serve. There's another one? Who? Oh, that's right. I forgot about Mr. Zach. Zach Ames. I don't see Zach here tonight, but we thank him as well. Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to briefly acknowledge Ashley. Ashley works at the Oak Hill Animal Hospital in District 2. And so at that time, we were looking for someone that can come in that would have that experience. Ashley has that animal hospital experience. If I can read real quickly, when Ashley was just a young child, her father would put in a stroller and take her out on the trails, exploring the great outdoors, teaching her about native wildlife. This instilled a passion in her that has only grown stronger over the years. A lifelong love of animals, coupled with a fascination with medicine, naturally guided Ashley towards a career in which she could enjoy the best of both worlds. Professionally, Ashley's two favorite things are applying her technical skills and engaging in client education. When she finds herself bogged down by management responsibilities, you can often find her searching the floor to draw blood from someone, going in to talk to a client about their pet's newly diagnosed illness, or just visiting with the clients who have become like family over the last several years. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you, Ashley Cahill, she's the lead veterinary assistant and manager at Oak Hill Animal Hospital in District 2. Thank you for your service, and we're looking forward to having you as the District 2 representative on the Animal Services Board. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hey, I got to acknowledge my people.
All in favor? Yeah, we vote all in favor. Thank you. Passes 5-0. Again, thank you so much for your service. We greatly appreciate you. Next is item number 10, Newton County Water Resources. Connors Creek, Mr. James Brown is here tonight. Thank you for being here tonight, sir.
All right, good evening. How's everyone? What you have before you is just a modification to an amendment or an agreement with us and the Water and Sewage Authority to give them some mitigation, some land to put in a 24-inch line. It's current where it was approved in January. They're moving it slightly north outside of our needed area for future improvements. So that's what the modification is for.
Thank you so much. Guys, I seek a motion. So can you cut your mic on, please, sir?
Can I make a motion to approve the request by James Brown to move the easement for the Water and Sewer Authority?
Thank you, sir. All right, guys, let's wake up. Commissioner, who's second? You second? Okay, it's been motioned by Commissioner Cowan, second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Next is our Finance Department report. Ms. Brittany White is here.
Good evening. Tonight I will be presenting the April 2022 financials. April is the 10th month of our fiscal year, so that puts us around 83% completed for FY 2022. I will start with the general fund revenues. Our revenues to date are $74.1 million, and that puts us right around 95% of our revenues, which is pretty usual for this year because most of our property taxes have been collected. Our actual revenues are in these two graphs right here. So you can see in April, we brought in roughly 6 million in revenues, and the graph below is our actuals to budgeted. Our general fund expenditures to date, our expenditures are 58.8 million, so that puts us roughly at 75% of actuals to budget. And this graph shows you our expenditures for the month of April, which is 77.6 million, and our actuals to budgeted amounts below. So at this point in the year, our revenues are 15.3 over our expenditures, but that will decrease as we continue on through the fiscal year. And our three enterprise funds, our water fund, the revenues are 8.1 million for the year. Solid waste is 6 million for the year, and Gaithers is 264,000 for the year. We have two active SPLOST. The 2011 currently has 1,027,000 in it, and we have one project left to complete in that, which is the historic jail project. We're currently working on pretty much every project on the 2017 list, and there's currently 33.5 million in that fund. And our collections to date have been 72.1 million, so that puts us roughly 20 million over what our original budgeted collections were. And in the impact fee fund, we currently have $44.3 million available in the impact fee fund. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Brittany. Any questions, guys? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. C. Was capital improvement, how much funds, how much money do we have in that?
Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
Capital improvement. Yeah.
Our capital improvement, we have a capital improvement fund and then the impact fee fund. Are you wanting to know?
They're
two separate funds.
Okay.
So I think he's asking how much, what's the total in it?
What,
And-
excuse me, question I asked, how much is in the capital, capital improvement funds? Is there a total for that? I'm asking.
For, the impact fee was a little over 4 million.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a capital improvement fund. I don't have those numbers with me, so I prefer not to speak on that right now. And then
Okay.
the SPLOST are also
Okay, so
capital funds.
Okay, so it's not. So just one final question. I think the probate court judge asked for some money from capital improvement, in which we approved it. And so I was just kind of find out how much is in it.
The probate court, we did approve 100,000 for that out of the capital improvement
ma'am.
funds. But we do have a full capital improvement fund. I just don't have that
Yes, ma'am.
information with me, so I
Could
just
you-
don't want
could
to,
you
I don't want to
please-
estimate it.
Yes, ma'am. Could you please send it to the county manager, Mr. Sims, and maybe he can hopefully get it to him or get it to Ms. Wonka, Assistant County Clerk, Ms. Susan, and so I can get the information, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Any more discussion? Any more questions, guys? Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you.
Next is Public Works. I think I see Mr. Chester Clegg is here. If you would, please, sir, come on down. Chester, if you don't mind, thank you for being here tonight. If you don't mind, can you give us a quick update on the 213 bridge, if you don't mind?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
As you know, the bridge on 213 last Monday, a week ago, was closed because GDOT did a inspection and found a significant amount of corrosion on 16 of the piles. So we have hired E.R. Snell, who started yesterday, to make the repairs. They're going to pour caps, concrete caps under the existing pile caps, and should be doing the pour come Tuesday. They've got 11 people working out there, 6 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the evening to get it done. So hopefully we got approval by GDOT to do the repair. Had a design done, got the approval, and like I said, it started yesterday. So hopefully I'm hopeful that we can get it open next week.
Thank you, sir.
So we received bids on the Brown Bridge Road at Snapping Shoals Creek project. It's a bridge replacement. We had a good showing, we received 6 bids, and the low bid came in from CMES Incorporated at $4,895,895.05. And so GDOT has reviewed the bids and they concur. The estimate was about $4 million, but all of our projects are going over what the estimates are showing. GDOT is ready for us to go ahead and move forward. They're preparing the contract between GDOT and the county, and then, of course, we need to sign a contract with the contractor. But the first thing we need to do is issue a notice of award from the board, and I'm requesting that the board issue a notice of award to CMES for bid number 22-11 for a total of $4,895,895.05. And of course, a copy of the notice of award was included in the packet.
Thank you, sir. God, let's take a motion, please. If the motion, can I get a second, please? Second. It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Cowan. Discussion. Commissioner Sanders?
I don't have a discussion, but since I have you in front of me, do you have any status on the bridges on the access road?
I do not. I mean, I don't have a completion date. They were obviously, as you know, you speaking of the one that collapsed.
Yes, sir.
Yes. GDOT, the contractor's working. You can see they've been, I guess they're been working for about a month. I would hope that they could have it done sometime in the fall. So.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Yes. Yes, Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank Mr. Clegg and our county manager for the expeditious manner which you guys handled the 213 bridge. I know that was kind of a one-off scenario in that area with the other bridge just being completed a few months ago, and those citizens really appreciate the haste with which we acted. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next is item number 13, discussion consideration of renewal of Cigna health insurance. Mr. Massey is here tonight. Mr. Massey, if you would, please come on up.
Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners, it's always good to see you all, and I appreciate the opportunity. Here tonight, our health and dental insurance renews July 1. And as you know, we've been partners with Cigna for several years. The last 3 to 4 years, we have been in a difficult situation as far as claim-wise, and Cigna has been an outstanding partner to stay with us during that period of time. We got our renewal in this year, and I focused in on 2 objections. The Affordable Care Act set the limit on the claims that an insurance company should pay out between $80 and $85 of every 100 that comes in on claims. Once you get above that, you're into an area that's not profitable. And we have been struggling with that for about 4 years now. And so basically, what we tried to do is we know we're going to anticipate an increase, so we tried to find a way in which to help the employees with their out-of-pocket costs, as well as to add some value from their standpoint day in, day out on their expenses. We focused in, and we'll have 3 changes to propose to you all this year that we were able to do. The first change, we analyzed what was one of the biggest areas of concern for the employee. And the answer was our specialist copay. The copay was at $80, had been that way for a year, and we were able to reduce it from 80 to 60. Now, the startling number on that, and most of you know I'm a person of statistics, the most startling number on there was in 7 months, we had 1,471 visits to a specialist. So this will be a far-reaching enhancement for the employees. We also made another, what we think is a very sound decision on prescriptions. The board has long held the position that prescription medication should not change on its copay because they want the people to be able to get their medicine. So we did a review of it, and a few years ago, Claritin was a prescription medication. Then Nexium became a prescription medication for heartburn, indigestion, things like that. Well, the people who, then the patent ran out and they became over-the-counter. Well, the people without insurance cheered that. The people with insurance all of a sudden had a boost in what they were paying. The prescription for Claritin and Nexium does not exist anymore because they're not prescription medication, but the generic does. So what we have put back into the policy is the generic version of Nexium and the generic version of Claritin so that they can get it for that $20 copay as opposed to paying full retail. So that was, we think that that will help the day in, day out costs too. The last thing that we were able to negotiate in is the voluntary products that are sold when an employee signs up for an open enrollment. Right now we have AFLAC for accident, critical care, hospital indemnity. It's long been the board's thinking that there should be an alternative, not have just one company there. So I talked with Cigna about it, and they offer these type products as well. At the end of the session, we agreed to offer their products, no quota, no set amount we have to sell, just make it available to the employees. And I was able to negotiate a 0.5% savings on our health insurance by bringing them and engaging them into the section that we're at now, as far as being an alternative to AFLAC. Those three things will help soften the out-of-pocket cost that we have. Due diligence was performed on this proposal. We take the proposal and we say, okay, what can enhance the rate? We looked at probably 4 or 5 options to take as far as deductible increases, out-of-pocket increases, and in order to make a meaningful contribution to the rate, it was going to put people completely out of proportion on deductibles and copays, if deductibles and out-of-pocket if they had something catastrophic happen, particularly to the entire family. We did our due diligence, and the program that we're submitting to you tonight is the rate increase with the enhancements, and we will be with our same carrier for going into the 4th year. That is a milestone. Since 2010, the longest we had stayed with one carrier was 2 years until last year, and we stayed with Cigna for a 3rd year. We'll now be 4 years in and we'll have a substantial track record. And again, they've been a good partner over that period of time. The dental insurance is coming up as well, and if you'll remember last year I negotiated a 2-year premium guarantee, so there'll be no increase at all in dental this year based upon last year's negotiation. Our plans are market competitive. We use different surveys, different formulas, and they are market competitive. We have consistency. We have an excellent drug program. Now, going through this coming year, what we will encourage is to strengthen the wellness program even more to try to combat some of the issues that we're having. Interim county manager has talked on it as well with me, and we think that that would be a very good thing to enhance. Next year is the year that we go through a very detailed formal bidding process, and we hope that we will be in a better position on that. At this time, I would recommend to the board that we renew our insurance, health insurance and dental insurance with Cigna, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Can I get a motion, please, so we can get it open for discussion? It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson. Can you make a motion to, is it a motion to approve? Please, sir.
Thank you, but Typically, what we have done on occasion in this board is that if you said so move, this is exactly what you were saying. Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Thank you, sir. A second. It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Cowan. Any discussion? Commissioner Edwards. You got a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You got a question?
Mr. Massey, you stated next year, this will be a full-blown bid next year.
Yes, sir, that's our timetable.
How many, how many major players are there in this type market?
4.
Do you have access to all 4 of those?
Yes, sir.
And you made a comment, I wrote it down here, where'd it go? Same carrier for how many years?
This will be our 4th year with Cigna.
I'm in the insurance business, and that staying with a company means something, especially for that company, and the rates they charge. So, I think we got a pretty good track record going here. So, I would encourage everyone to definitely support this. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Henderson, then Commissioner Mason.
Thank you. Ms. Massey, how long have you been our insurance agent for the?
2010.
Yes, sir. For all those years, and I'm telling you, each year with you has been better and better, my friend.
Thank you for your comments.
I like the fact that you live here in town, in Covington, in Newton County, and the fact that you spend your money here, you have your business here, and that speaks volumes. And I appreciate it, and I thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Massey, once again for this presentation. You mentioned in your presentation that there was a 0.5 savings. So how much of that 0.5 savings actually goes to each employee, I guess, that has utilized this insurance?
The savings on that particular part of it was 0.5 over the entire. You're slightly under around 8 million, so 0.5 would be about 40,000 that would be saved, and you operate mostly on an 80-20 split with the employees. So that would be the number on it. That it will just be blended into the rates. But we were going to replace it anyway, so that was a pretty good return on the decision.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And this question is from Mr. Sims. The employees, are they happy with this insurance?
Mr. Chairman, I think with the size of our organization, you're going to probably get mixed reviews from some employees that are happy. Some employees might want to see a change. But as Mr. Massey stated, as far as continuity was important to our organization, being he's a local broker, I think also is important, as well as the time frame, if we had to change with a limited amount of time, would be very difficult for our organization. So I thought it would be best for us to maintain our current relationship with Mr. Massey.
I'm not asking about the relationship with Mr. Massey. I'm asking about the insurance as a whole, not Mr. Massey.
Well, I thought it would be best for our organization to maintain the Cigna, indicating that we've had it for 4 years. I thought it would just be best to keep that as it is for now, and then to explore other options going forward.
Okay. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you. Well, you know what? I know I'm in the process of re-election, but as long as I sit here on this board, Mr. Massey will always have my vote.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So when we talked about exploring other options, would that be, because you mentioned next year when we have a new bid, correct, to decide where we are, like say if things were better, we didn't have as many claims, to see if we can get a better rate, and that will be as of next year, correct?
Yeah, this is the timetable that I've worked on for the last 10 years, is I keep statistics on the most recent 3 years. Then on the year that we're in the middle of at that point in time, I wait I have been doing this so long, by December, before the next renewal in July, I can almost tell you where we're going to be. And in December is when I convey to the county manager what the plans are to get permission to move forward. I assemble a package at the minute the December results are in, which is typically the middle of January. I have the package assembled with all the necessary and pertinent data that we send out originally. It goes out by February with a return expected back in March. Then they will specifically ask anything of me that they need in addition to the package that we send out, and it's my responsibility to provide that information. By March, we will have the rates back in of the people that we send it to. Some will pass, and we'll have it back in. I always have the existing carriers renewal by March 1 to make a comparison with it. At that point in time, I arrange, I keep the county manager up to date during the process as who's bidding, who's asking, where we are. By March, we meet and determine if we have someone that is head and shoulders above where it's at. And then we begin negotiating down with each one of them to get the better rate. And by the time that I get to you all, we're in agreement as what the best way is. The one comment I hear the most, and being local, the employees come by. We keep statistics on how many, because of HIPAA laws and common decency. I can't share that with you, but we keep logs on how many come by. Consistency has been important. You have a family member who has an injury or a sickness, and they know they're going to have the same doctor, the same medical plan, the same out-of-pocket expense, and the same prescription drug plan. Those things are very important at this point in time. Remember, during the next 6 months, we'll also be working with inflation, so I have to keep an eye on the moving target of the numbers during that period of time as well, too. But that's the timeline, and it's worked extremely well for the last 10 years.
Well, thank you for that detail. I know you invited me to come to your office back in 2019, and we sat down and we had a very, very extensive conversation, very detailed conversation. And so you're absolutely correct. You're very detail-oriented, so I did see that. And so thank you for being detailed in regards to that timeline. We want to do everything we can to ensure that we're meeting the needs of the employees and that we're doing our best to provide a level of relief when it comes to that. I know we talked about also that to strengthen the wellness program. That was one of the things that we really talked about back in 2019, to really incorporate that, really strengthen that so that it can help reduce some of our claims so that we can be in a better position to provide the best insurance that we can for our employees. So
yeah,
thank you for that.
That's what, with 2 follow-up comments on that. We address the issue of market competitiveness. There are independent think tanks that once a year release the national average, what it should cost. Our programs consistently perform well when compared. And I use the same one each year. I don't pick and choose the convenient one. So we do that, and then on our wellness program, Cigna has a very gracious benefit that they allow us each year to conduct the wellness program with. It's virtually funded by them, and they have coaches on hand, they have the personnel on hand, so we feel very comfortable with what they offer us on it and the support we get from them.
Thank you, sir, once again. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. It was Commissioner Cowan and then Commissioner, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I dealt with health insurance for a long time, and quite frankly, I've watched companies come in, they'll low bid the first year, and then they'll expect a 3 or 4 year contract, and then they will raise your rates. And again, longevity, continuity, staying with one company is a better thing. I know the county a few years ago, and JC, you can verify this, but when they were with Blue Cross Blue Shield and they were trying to do self-funded, almost broke them. It almost broke this county because they could not they could not put enough money into it to keep the claims going. So 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, we changed, went to a full indemnity, or to a provider. We're not self-funded anymore. Now, employees, again, I listen to what employees say, but again, I was an HR director for a long time. Everybody's spouse has a better plan, okay? What they don't understand, what they don't tell you is that, well, my spouse works for Delta, or my spouse works for the school system. And they got 30 or 40,000 people they can spread that cost among. Or they may tell you, my wife's company's got 4 insurances. I can pick any one of them. Oh, great. We ain't that big. But it's based on numbers. It's based on risk. It's based on experience. I know that Mr. Massey has shared with me some of the experience that the county's had. Quite frankly, I don't know why Cigna won't stay with us anyway, to be honest with you, other than they just like to stay with us, but I've looked at it. The numbers, I don't see how they make my time. But they seem to be doing okay somehow or another. I think that in the long run, Mr. Massey's put together a good offer. He is a local vendor, and he can sell any insurance that he wants to sell. Pretty much any health insurance, and there ain't but about 4 companies out there. Used to be all kinds at one time, but they've been eaten up, bought up. So I think Cigna is a good company. I like the continuity, staying with them. Nobody wants to change their doctor midstream because some bureaucrat made a decision to change it. So that's my statement.
Commissioner Sanders.
I think all my colleagues probably stated everything that I want to say. So when I first came in office, I did a county tour and I spoke with Mr. Massey. He was very detail oriented in regards to what he provides for our employees. I can speak on Cigna because I used to be a certified instructor for Cigna that went to Porsche, that went to MARTA, so I provided those services. So Cigna is a very great company because they pay very well. I can tell you that from experience. But they also believe in health and wellness. So I thank you for your service and providing the best insurance for our employees. Because I have the insurance program, the plan, and I have not had any issues.
We thank you for the continued confidence that you all have in us.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Pass 5-0. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We don't have any alcohol license. No. Next is citizens' comments. This opportunity, we allow citizens to make comments. You have 3 minutes to do so. If you would, please state your name, your address for the record, please. You may come at this time.
My name is Stephanie Lindsay, 75 Longview Drive, Oxford, Georgia, 30054. I'm just going to read what I wrote down because I don't want to get sidetracked and offend anybody. It seems like the procedure or lack of the procedure regarding the designation of your individual funds is meant to hide from the public what you are doing with your money because it lacks transparency and proper public notice of how you intend to use your funds. Proper public notice is not thrusting it upon the public at a regular board meeting. Is providing notice before the board meeting. At the board meeting in which you were approved for each of you to get $1 million, I had great concerns regarding the procedure in which you were going to institute the distribution of the respective funds. But then Commissioner Edwards and Commissioner Sanders, I believe, engaged in a discussion that the funds would be used based upon the grid that was established by Commissioner Sanders. There were designated categories in that grid, and my understanding, and luckily you guys record it so you can all look back at it, my understanding is that the funds that each one of you had would be placed in those grids, nothing else. My recollection is that the county attorney stated that the funds requested would still have to demonstrate the effect of COVID-19 on the organization requesting the funds. The funds would also have to be used to address the need brought due to the pandemic if the first one did not apply. The latter is the problem in this case. As commissioners, you have a great responsibility to exercise due diligence of any organization before you award money to them that is supposed to be used for public programs. This diligence includes reviewing activities that the organization has instituted in the past, the success of those said programs, or how many people have benefited from those programs. I would hope as business owners, and I know at least one of you have been owner of several businesses, you would not hire an agency to handle any important delegated responsibility without first looking at the agency's track record for performing the services. When you fail to do the due diligence and you fund organizations that are not doing what they say that they're going to do, you have used these funds that were intended for public good in the wrong way, and you have failed your community. I have been very vocal privately amongst all of y'all about my concerns about funds that have been designated to programs in the past where those programs have not gotten out to the public. You have a tendency as board members to willy-nilly give money to organizations without any kind of check and balance that these organizations are actually doing the work that they say that they're going to do. I'm not going to be public about those private emails, but I implore you, please, before you give any money to any organization, I don't care who it is, make sure the organization is an organization that has done what they say
Thank you, ma'am.
that they are going to do.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Hold on. Ms. Walker, can you give her the mic? Thank you. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
My name is Norris Freeman, live at 11101 Covington Bypass Road, Covington, Georgia. I am here on the behalf of the funding for the Juneteenth parade. My understanding that the county and the city can put up $40,000 for a 10-minute display of fireworks, and y'all won't fund a simple historic holiday. And I'm gonna give y'all something to think about before I step down. Juneteenth is where the 4th of July originated from. Do your history, factory checks, and you'll find out the 4th of July was celebrated on Juneteenth. I'm just asking, on the behalf of the city and the county and the people here listening under my voice, that y'all fund this national holiday, and let's get this thing nipped in the bud and get it past us. If you can spend $40,000 on a 20-minute light display of fireworks, what is, say 10% of $40,000 to help her fund a holiday?
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Jeanette Perry. I live at 6117 Eberhart Street, Covington, Georgia. I'm here to speak on Juneteenth too. And the reason why Juneteenth means a lot to me, and then they nominated me this year to be the Mother of the Year. I think I almost fell out that I must have did something good for people to recognize me to be the mother, the mother for Juneteenth this year. Mrs. Mary Jane has spent a lot of money out of her pocket, and that is exceptional, a big responsibility. I would help her, but I'm on a fixed income myself, and I'm at the age where my health has declined. But I'm asking the you commissioners have done a great job. I'm just praying that you unite and be united together. I have worked with a few people on a board, and we got along perfect. So I'm just asking to be considerate, and please donate us this year some help to make it a huge success. I know that I read in the paper where much money has been given to different organizations. And if you can just think and let God use your brains and heart, please give us a donation to help us out this year with Juneteenth. Anybody want to ask me a question?
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.
For listening.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mary Terry James, 160 Cherry Hollow Court, Covington, Georgia. I was here last meeting and I spoke out on behalf of Juneteenth. My question is really directed at Damon. I talked to him at the church first of the year. He said, anything you can do, we're gonna work together. He told the whole congregation that anything Ms. James says she wanna do, we're gonna do it. And I see you up here talking against everything that Commissioner Sanders and Commissioner Henderson, and you go against everything. You don't even vote with them, and I don't understand what's going on with you. You saw me back there at a meeting one night, and you said you wanted me to meet the new manager, and we're gonna get some ball rolling. You haven't did anything. So I just wanna let you know, Damon, that you're such a liar. That's all I have to say.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Commissioner Edwards. Oh, well, wait a minute, I got one more.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We got one more. Got one more. Guys, y'all, guys. No, I mean, go ahead, sir.
Good evening. I'm Frederick Johnson, 1036 Highway 162, Covington. Just want to bring to your attention to this board, on May the 4th, 2021, it was motion and second that the road department was going to see about realigning Moat Road and 162. I haven't seen no flags or no stars or anything like that. It's been, over a year now. So let's not forget about that. We still need that realignment of Moat Road to 162. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to understand exactly where that is, and I'm trying to remember. I'll get with you after we're done. That may be District 1, it may be District, or maybe 5. I can't remember. Either way, we'll look at that. We made a promise. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was, I don't want to be Donald Downer here, but we, this evening for Mr. Harrington and Mr. Clark, we provided for them, and rightly so, some subdivided property off of Henderson Mill Road. I was glad we were able to do it for his family. Family property to live there. But what we have forgotten is 4 or 5 months ago, we turned down Marcus Pollard for the same exact thing not more than 2 miles away on Henderson Mill Road. The same exact thing. So I'm asking us to use common sense and logic when we take these votes. This was the logical thing to do for Mr. Harrington and his son, Mr. Clark. I'm not sure we did the right thing for Mr. Pollard, 4 or 5 months ago, and it wouldn't surprise me to see some litigation.
I believe we changed that for him. If I'm not mistaken, I think we did, but we had to go back and look at it. I thought we changed that.
I do not remember us changing that, but.
You talking about the school teacher, right? You talking about the school teacher?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we changed that, but okay.
If we did, then I'm wrong. I apologize.
Okay. We had to go back and look at that. Commissioner Calvin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Calm down. I got you.
A couple of things that came out tonight. One, I think we need a long, like a few hour work session, whether it's here or somewhere else, to talk about zoning and subdivision standards. I think also we need to deal with figuring out this thing on ARPA. My thoughts was that we had created 2 categories of disbursement, but I don't know what we got, to be honest with you. I'd like to get that cleared up though, because I know where Commissioner Henderson's coming from, and I know we've talked about application processes. Quite frankly, I think we've created 2 categories of handling that. And in regards to the lady that spoke about the county school tax and things like that, I spoke with the county attorney before the meeting tonight. We have to send that through the state legislature, and right now they're not going to do anything because it's an election time. But as soon as all this is over, we will bring that to them and take a look at what we can do as far as taxes go. Ma'am? No. I'm not supposed to, but.
No, Commissioner Calvin. Guys, we're in the public meeting.
Just catch me after the meeting.
Yeah, man, come on.
Okay.
You done? You finished? You finished?
I'm through.
Commissioner Henderson. Commissioner Mason, man. Golly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to address Ms. Mary James, and please hear me from a very, very respectful place. I wish you were here at the last meeting in regards to the comment that I made. As a matter of fact, last year, I personally gave to Juneteenth out of my own bank account. And so I have done something. I did have that conversation with you stating that it would be great for you to connect with our interim county manager so that you can become an appropriation. I believe at the meeting before last, he actually gave you his business card and asked you to reach out to him. I asked him to have that conversation with you so that you can sit down and have a conversation with him, and you can go through the process of becoming an appropriation, and we can actually address that just like we do all other 501c3s. If you look at how we give to all of the 501c3s, we don't just give them money, they are an appropriation. Once they are an appropriation, we actually give to them every single year. And so my objective was not to give you a one-time gift. It was to actually set you up as an appropriation where you can actually be given to every single year. That is my wholehearted objective. And so I did do something. One, by giving personally. Two, connecting you with our interim county manager, and he gave you your business card. I asked publicly if he would mind. Am I correct? And that's correct. And you all did meet. Okay, so you all did meet based off of my recommendation. And so I think it was so disheartening to say that I didn't do anything, because I've just stated to you what I've done, and it sounds like you followed through. And so the objective is to ensure that you're getting funding every single month and become an appropriation. That is my hopes, that is what will actually happen. And so you have my direct phone number. I have given you my direct phone number. You can reach out to me. We can have that conversation. But I think it was very just disingenuous to say publicly that I lied, because I did follow through on what I said I was going to do. That's my comments about that. Next, my comments are, I have, happy to say, we're going to be doing our movie in the park at Denny Dobbs Park. Yes, thank you, JC, for stop recording. I appreciate that. I hope you got it all. Come on. Movie in the park on Friday, May the 20th. This coming Friday at Denny Dobbs Park, 6244 Highway 212 in Covington, Georgia, 30016. And so we are asking everybody to come out and enjoy the movie in the park. We're going to be looking at Space Jam 2. We are excited. We're going to have food vendors there. We're going to have a DJ there. We want to bring the community back together as we did last year and enjoy in this celebration. So we'll see you all on Friday, May 20th at Denny Dobbs Park for a movie in the park. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Sanders.
I did have something written down and prepared, but I'm going to speak from my heart. The most saddening thing is that when people state that they're pastors and ministers, they come up here and do stuff differently. I come from a house of a pastor. I'm a PK, and I've seen examples. I've seen examples of what a man should be. I've seen examples of how it should be done. And that's very disheartening to me, especially being the only female on this board. It's very disheartening. So we're going to pray about that. Moving forward, in regards to the Arpa funds, I employ every citizen in here to read the Department of Treasury ruling that was recently updated, March 2022, that has supplied or applied to us, provided relaxation on the rule, that it does not have to fully pertain to COVID. If you had that issue before you got into the pandemic and it's still occurring, that business or nonprofit can apply. So what we need to do is become knowledgeable in the Department of Treasury ruling, which will help us understand why we do what we do as the ARPA committee. Because I thank the citizens for allowing us to go to these various committee meetings and conferences to where we're able to sit down with the Department of Treasury and find out what we need to do as an organization and as Newton County. So when you educate yourself on the subject matter, I'm not smart on everything. I don't know everything. So that's why I go and seek the research and the education versus getting up here and saying something I don't know about. So make sure we do that in order that before we get up and say certain things. And next, make sure you attend the Juneteenth parade on June 18th on Sunday, as well as one of the citizens provided some information. I don't know how we actually do that, but they made a good statement. That's why I was asking Chester about the bridge. And they mentioned, it was a group of citizens stated that once that bridge is finished, and maybe Patrick can probably give me some more insight on that information because he would be more knowledgeable in that area. So that's why you go seek information, is to find out, they want to see if they can name that bridge after the gentleman, Demario Battle, that actually died from actually trying to fix that bridge. So I don't know how we go about, because I know part of that is GDOT and part of that is Newton County, and I thought that was an excellent idea. So if you can probably assist us on how we actually go forth in that. Thank you so much, and y'all have a great day.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just gonna say this, Ms. Terry, you were 100% right, because he stood up at that forum and said, I'm with Ms. Terry. I remember he said, see, I'm with you. He said one thing when they had a forum, when he trying to get folks to vote for him, and when he get up here and be something totally different. He will return into a Republican who voted against everything black, everything. All I asked was that motion that you helped deny was to give Ms. Terry, her organization, $110,000 off the funding, which we gave everybody else. Everybody else. We gave all these people money, but then when it comes to people of color, us black folks, oh, it's something totally different. This needs to be a rallying call. See, because if we keep on letting people sit up here, and I'm good to go too. Hey, I'm no better than nobody else. Keep on letting people sit up here and do what they do to us, and you won't go out there and get them out, something wrong with you. That's right. Yeah, you're right. But don't let it be you before me. Hey, but let me say this. I've been here 26 years, and I'm still in my comment, if I may, Mr. Chairman. I'm still in 26 years. I've been well longer than you have. Well, this will be your second term.
Hey, listen, guys.
But let me say this. We need to stand up. Stop letting these folks come to do us any kind of way. They do us any kind of way, and we sit back and don't say nothing.
Clear the courthouse.
Yeah, call the bailiff.
No, we're clearing the courthouse. Let's clear the courthouse. We stand adjourned.